The listing process is clunky. And if it's clunky for you, imagine how it is for the client. We can do better. And I think I've cracked the code on how. I've been coaching people on how to do this for some time now, and I'm really seeing it start to take off, and they're reaping the benefits. Here's what traditionally happens when you, as a listing agent, are going to list the house. You set the appointment, right? I'm gonna save all of the ISA work, all that background work, and I'm not gonna put that into this conversation, but I'm gonna talk about the actual going to the appointment. You are ready to go to the appointment, so you spend the hour or two ahead of time putting together your CMA, pulling comps, right? You're planning your time when you get there and what you're gonna do. You're putting together your marketing packet. Maybe you have an admin doing this for you, but nonetheless, now it's time to go to the appointment. It's 20 minutes across town, and so you get in your vehicle 20 minutes before. But if you're like any other realtor I've talked to, you're busy texting and catching up on emails as you drive. Super unsafe, and we got to do better. You get to that appointment, and you're there to do two things. You're there to build the relationship, and you're also there to capture a lot of data about the house to bring back to your listing admin or for you to actually input into the MLS. So you're there and you're doing both things, and you're doing the shuffle, but you're not doing it well because you're trying to focus on the client and ask about the house, but you're also taking notes as you go. And if your notes are anything like mine, they were sloppy, they were poorly put together, and I always missed a few things. Well, by the time that's said and done, let's say that's an hour or an hour and a half. I've heard people boast that my listing appointment only takes 30 minutes or whatever it is. I think that's baloney. I think we're in this to be a relationship builder and not just to see how fast we can go. Take some time with your people. And then what usually happens is you get back in your car, you realize you've missed an hour or an hour and a half of text messages and phone calls and emails. And so as you drive, you're catching up on that, being super irresponsible, super ineffective. Then you bring that file, you slam it on the desk of your admin, and you say, okay, please put this listing together. Let's go active with it. And then they come back to you and they ask 20 or 30 questions about all the things that you failed to note on the house. Does this sound familiar? Because this is the world that most people who are listing agents live in. There's a better way. And the better way is through a listing partner. This is, I think, a licensed, doesn't have to necessarily be licensed, but it is essentially taking your admin and having them work directly with you. The hour or two ahead of the appointment, it is your admin or your partner. I like the word partner. It sounds like a team, right? Admin sounds like you're handing off a role to something or somebody and you're not involved with it. But when you say this is my partner, you simply understand that everybody has different jobs and responsibilities. So your partner maybe puts together the CMA, you've trained them well on it, or maybe you're the one to do it. Not, regardless, that early stuff, the admin work side of it is done by a partner. Maybe you have that already and that's figured out. But now it's time to get in your car. And in your car, I don't think you should be driving. I think your partner should be driving. Yeah, you have the higher D, right? You're the one that's going to get behind the wheel and you're going to go to that appointment and you're going to drive along and that person's along for the ride. But you should be the one along for the ride. You should be one sitting in the passenger seat or the back seat, getting safely caught up on your emails, your lead generation, and your other client touches, because your time is really valuable. You driving a car is $15 to $20 an hour work, but you're spending time doing it irresponsibly and dangerously, and that is just uncalled for. So let your partner drive and you sit in the passenger seat and get caught up on work. That is 20 minutes of valued time. That is income producing time as you're driving to that appointment. Then you get to the appointment and you both go in. You make the introduction for moment one. Let's say Sally is your partner. You introduce Sally and you say, this is Sally. She's my partner in this. So she and I both are going to be involved and we're both going to walk through this and navigate and make sure that we capture everything that we need to. My job is to share with them the marketing plan and to share with them the CMA and to negotiate and to get them to sign on the dotted line. But I don't care about where they put their stockings for Christmas. Doesn't mean I don't love them, but it means that I don't need to know about that. It means that while I'm building the relationship, Sally can go around and capture all the data on the house, measure the rooms, do some staging advice, set them up, and then build that rapport and that relationship. Maybe Sally even has to be there longer than you do. It's going to take another 30 minutes to capture all of the information and to set them up. Go to the car, plug away, do 30 more minutes worth of work. But you both are working on it because now you're driving back, you're sitting in the passenger seat, you're getting all your work caught up and done. At the same time, Sally is driving. You're safer. And when Sally gets back to the office, two things have happened. Number one, that client knows the whites of her eyes and has built a relationship and rapport with her. That's huge because Sally's job is to nurture and maintain that relationship, where it is your job as the lead agent to be navigating and negotiating the contract, to helping to work on the marketing strategy, to being in the bigger picture of things, and then to be setting them up for success. But you don't have to be there for all of it. And you've set that person up as a better chance to deliver that rapport in that relationship. That's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is when Sally sits down to enter in all that information into the MLS, she got everything she needed without reading your hieroglyphics, your terrible notes, and your disorganized self that handed off for them a file that was frankly incomplete. Her job's easier, that relationship is stronger, and you stay in your lane. She's developed more to be that next talent on your team that's going to come up and be an amazing talent. You have bought back time into your life, and that time is spent lead generating and leading. Both are amazingly important and impactful into your world. And now you've created an ecosystem where your client is better taken care of. Think differently about how you do business because we can do better.